Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. Feels kind of dreadful stopping old people, though, when they've got their bags and they're on their way. So we're working for an organisation called The Commons, which is a kind of new political party based upon just going out into the community and asking for people's opinions on things.
Right, I've seen your shop or whatever it is somewhere.
Yeah, it's just up there, exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly who we are. We're just asking people what their experience of the NHS is here and of the community especially.
The NHS is wonderful.
I think it's wonderful.
I use the Royal Free Hospital and we have got an excellent surgery in what do you call it, Abbey Road, yeah?
Yeah. No, I go there too.
Excellent service.
Brilliant.
Second to none.
Really
my
good.
wife uses it, my son uses it. We are very happy with it.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And we hope they will not go for polyclinics in the future.
Okay, yeah.
That's terrible things to do.
Are you worried about the polyclinics?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've heard lots of good things about UCH.
Yeah, very good.
And have you found that, I mean, as you've got older, their treatment of you has changed, or not really? They look after you better? Do they look after you worse?
As I got older, I needed treatment. When I was younger, I never needed any, so I can't actually compare one against the other.
Yeah.
I can't get out very often, but when I go out, well, I have my bus card. Or I've now got the taxi card. If I can't go myself, like go to the hospital or anything, I ask for a taxi.
And that's provided by the council?
Yeah, the
Brilliant.
council provided. You have to pay a little bit, but only a marginal amount.
Okay, that's great. That's really great.
It is lovely.
All in all, I'm quite satisfied. I wouldn't want it to. I mean, yes, of course, you know, waiting lists for certain things, that would be important if that changed.
We've come to the Royal Free today, which is the main hospital for the constituency of Hampstead and Kilburn. I think we're particularly interested because the Whittington is closing its A&D. It's looking that it will be closed, so we're very interested to see if that's a concern that's felt here, and also just to find out about waiting lists and how long it takes people to get to the hospital, cleanliness and things like that. So we're just going to ask some patients. Tell us your story.
So I've had both of my children here. All of the accidents that they've ever had have been dealt with at the Royal Free. I think it's brilliant.
And how did you find sort of getting here? Was it easy enough to get here?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
it's a pain. I mean,
well,
we only got
Edgware,
Belsize
yeah.
Park on the Northern Line, and you've got that long struggle up the hill and everything. So if you're running late and everything, you've got to get other kids to school. It is a pain in the arse getting here.
Yeah, but you get the proper wash.
I've just heard some horrific stories. You know, while you're in there, you kind of hear stories of, you know, people asking for a glass of water. My wife's grandfather is in there at the moment, and they didn't diagnose MRSA, and they leave him swimming around in his own excrement. And
why do you think that is? Like lack of skills, too much red tape?
I think there's too much pressure on the staff. So I think that although they do their best, they're under enormous amounts of pressure. They've got they do too many hours. They kind of harden themselves up to people's feelings, so they kind of have to, I mean, you understand it, they have to shut themselves off emotionally. So, you know, when you've got 20 people screaming at you, you know, what do? You kind of, day in, day out.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I mean, they do a tough job, they do a great job, but they kind of become hardened to it, and I think, you know, all sorts of calamities happen as a result. Wherever you go in our community, there's pressure. If you're 2 minutes late, you get a parking ticket that is disproportionate to the offence. People are struggling financially. You know, you can't park outside your mum and dad's house because you're worried about getting a ticket. But you can't walk because it's too far. The public transport isn't quite good enough, and thus, you know, communities are divided.
Yeah.
I work as a staff traffic planner, and my role is to get people less dependent on their cars to get to Royal Free and use public transport or more active.
And do you find access to the hospital okay?
Not with the buses. There are not enough buses to actually cope with the amount of people that want to go to the hospital. You know, it's actually not just the hospital; it's the workers there as well. They need to get here as well.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you know, I mean, the hospital itself copes tremendously well with an amazing amount of problems. You know, I've got friends that go there for other things than me, and they've been given wonderful treatment.
Brilliant.
I'm aware patients do have problems getting there, although we provide a transport for patients, staff transport for patients.
What's the thing that you provide? Can you?
It's according to your needs. Now, the NHS provides transport for patients. It's a service. They sometimes comes by minibus or ambulances, depending on what kind of treatment they require. Yes, it is hard because we are one of the hubs for kidney transplants. So we have a very large renal unit. People come 3 times a week for their renal services. And they can't be asked to be using public transport. So I think we need to be looking at providing more options for people who do need transport. So I think it's very costly.
From this experience, I think I'm just going to learn how to listen to people more and kind of how to respect people. The problem with doing this is we're not spending enough time asking enough questions. We have to do everything in a week, and obviously you can get a kind of taste and a flavour of how people, what opinions people have, what problems they see, but you don't. It's more than 4 years' work. It's definitely more than 6 weeks' work. So I think what we're doing is we're kind of getting a flavour, and we're also telling people that what we want to know is what they think, but we're not giving the complete product of what local democracy would look like. We're just kind of sparking it a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.